Welcome to the Writer's Way podcast, where we celebrate writers who have completed their books and inspire writers who haven't. Join Lori and her guests as they talk about writing, books, and life in between chapters.
Hello, writers. Welcome back to this episode of the Writer's Way podcast. Today I have the fabulous Kelly Grettler, almost at our 1 year anniversary, I think, of when you were on as one of my very first guests. So welcome.
I think we are exactly at our 1 year. So thank you for having me back. I'm so honored to be here.
You're welcome. Why don't we start with, for people who, of course, didn't see that first episode, a bit about your background and how you started writing books, and then we'll get into your seasonal books.
Okay, well, my background is I'm a stay-at-home mom. My kids are teenagers now and about to fly the coop. I've been married for 27 years, and I was, for a couple of years in there, a preschool teacher's aide, and working with the kids reminded me of how much I've always loved being a storyteller. And so after a couple of years of that, I decided to start writing down all the stories that I've always kind of written. I wrote some way back when my boys were babies and didn't do anything with them. And so I got up the gumption to figure out what to do with those. And that was exactly 3 years ago that I started working on my first book. And now I am about to publish my 10th. So
wow, congrats.
I know, I'm very excited.
And the one you're doing right now, you're redoing? Is that the one you're talking about?
Well, I'm redoing my first. Underneath the Mimosa Tree was my first, and I kind of rushed that one with the illustrations, and I've always felt a little self-conscious about those. And so I found a beautiful illustrator. She lives in Pakistan, actually, and she re-illustrated it for me over the summer, I think it was, and I'll be putting that out in December around the anniversary of when I put it out 3 years ago. But my newest book, I'm just going to do a quick little plug, so I have like 5 proof copies here because I keep having to reorder the proof.
Oh, yeah.
Is called God Always Hears. And I wrote this one in, so my surgery was in November. It was probably January of this year that I wrote about kind of what I went through, but from a child's perspective. And it's about facing like hospitals and fear and the power of prayer and getting you through. And this one I'm about to release on October 25th because it's the anniversary of when all that journey began for me.
Right.
But it's a year and I'm done and I'm so excited.
Yes. Oh, I love it.
This will be my 10th book.
Okay. And it's so different than the other ones.
It's so different. I hired an illustrator named Solomia Kalinichenko. She recently turned 12 and she lives in Ukraine. And she's incredibly, let me see if I can do this.
She's 12?
She's 12. She was 11 when I started. Let me zoom in on her.
She's this 11-year-old.
I know. I found her by accident. So here she is. She's gorgeous. And there's a little about the illustrator. I found her on Instagram. Actually, I was looking through Instagram because I'm addicted to my phone like we all are. And sometimes I follow illustrators. And it looked like she drew me. There was this little painting of a girl, like a lady in a green dress with like pink flowers because I had just gone through breast cancer, and it had like shamrocks, and I was like, it had wavy, like reddish brown hair, and I was like, oh my gosh, this girl drew me. So I clicked on it and I started looking at her artwork, and I was like drawn to her artwork. It was very angelic. So I reached out to her and I'm like, I just wrote a book. Would you be interested in illustrating it? And she will tell you, and I put it in about the illustrator, she will tell you the night before I reached out to her, she was praying with her mom saying, Mom, will I ever be an illustrator? And her mom said, I believe in you. And the very next morning, Kelly Grettler typing up on her Instagram, hey, would you be interested in illustrating my book? So she's like, God heard me. And so this is called God Always Hears. At the time, it didn't even have a title yet. So the whole thing is just meant to be. And look at these illustrations. She's way beyond her years with talent. They're just gorgeous. Is it like
acrylic paint? Does she do acrylic paint or watercolor? Or
I'm not even sure. I think she does acrylic. It's just gorgeous.
Wow. Okay.
And
come at her.
Are
you the first book that she's done?
I am her first book. She recently over in Ukraine drew like beautiful big paintings for a palliative care center over there.
Oh, wow.
So she's going to have a real successful career. And I'm just blessed and lucky to have gotten, a little bit of Solomia. And I can't wait to see what she does with her life because she's
oh my goodness.
only 12. I know.
That is an amazing story. I didn't realize that about her.
I
That's
know.
so just serendipitous, right? Like,
Exactly.
oh, wow.
Meant to be.
Meant to
Yeah.
Okay, so you have 10 books. How many of them are seasonal books?
Okay. I have 1, 2, 3, 4. These are what's a season fall, what's a season winter, what's a season summer, and what's a season spring. And I figured out how to make them a box set. So here they are. Although, don't get too excited. It doesn't have a bottom, so I have to tie it. Like I'm still new. I thought, I don't know what I'm doing.
Whatever works. Where did you go for that, or how did you do that?
What's it called? I don't remember. I'll have to send you the link. It's some like boxy store thing. I haven't done it for about a year because I got so many sent to me that I just don't need more yet.
Yeah.
And honestly, because there's no bottom and they slide out, it's kind of a pain. Like I have them in a local store, but I have them tied cutely, and the verdict isn't in yet. Whether or not I recommend it. I sell it as a set on the back, but I think it's doing better.
Do you sell them as a set on your website?
No, I don't really sell on my website yet. I think I sell them on Etsy as a set. People aren't really jumping to get the set. They tend to just go whatever season we're in. I'll put them in local shops. Like right now we're in the fall, so I'm noticing my fall books are starting to take off. But as a set, people aren't as interested in the set yet for whatever reason. But then again, like we talked about, I don't know if I'm pushing it as much. I don't.
Right, and really, you've had a different kind of a year where you haven't been.
I did. I took a huge step back from all the authoring and all the stuff. Those are 4, and then I've got. I don't know if this would be considered seasonal, but it's a spooky sort of, not really spooky, but it's about a monster. So that might, I pushed that one around October. And then this one I wrote at the end of last year, and it's one of my favorites. It's the Marvelous, Much Loved Christmas Tree. And I just adore this book. So.
Oh, I think I missed that one. Can you show some of the inside pages?
Yes, you missed it because I literally scrambled to put it out right before my surgery last year, and then I couldn't push it.
Oh, okay.
So like it's just all about like the coziness of Christmas. I illustrated this one myself, so it's the decorated house. Hold on, we got like stockings and a cat, and then all the fun. You know how you love a good Christmas tree with all the weird wonky ornaments that the kids make at school. And fun fact, these are all we have these exact ornaments, like I drew them.
Oh, wow.
I thought that was fun. So anyway.
Wow. Cool.
I did get invited it was last December, to a Christmas party in our community, and Santa was there, and Santa read my book, and I was literally the most excited I'd ever been as an author. And so when he was reading to the children, I was filming, but I was also making sales at that event, so I had my little square thingy in my phone. And note to self, the square thingy, if that's in your phone when you're recording, all you're going to get is a high frequency. So I came home from that thing and I was so excited, and I went to my family, let's listen to Santa reading my book. And I played it, and all the dogs were in the room, and all you heard was, and then the dogs started howling, and I'm like, wait, maybe it fixes itself halfway through. So we were listening to the entire 3 minutes of Santa reading the book, but all we heard was high frequency, and the dogs were screaming. My kids were like, turn it off. I missed that.
Oh, darn. Maybe it'll happen again this year.
I know. I need to go find Santa.
Santa reading your book. My goodness.
It was fun. So that's something you can do if you put out a Christmas book. Go find you a Santa and he'll read it.
Yes, that's awesome. Yeah. I would think that teachers would buy this set to teach.
That's a good idea. I need to push them.
Yeah.
I'm bad at that, Lori. So let me write that down. Teachers.
Well, because I'm sure it's part of the curriculum in pre-K and K. I don't know what you call it there, but
you're so true.
4, 5, 3, 4, 5. So how do your seasonal sell compared to your not seasonal?
Well, my bestseller is Sweet Tea by the Live Oak Tree. And that one, I'm still not as good as some of these people that I'm seeing on the sites. But Sweet Tea, I sell probably about 20 to 30 of that a day, which I'm kind of proud of that. That's not bad.
Yeah.
But my seasons, I'll sell like fall. Right now I'm selling about 10 a day of fall. On KDP, because I'm not really pushing it where I should be, I have a stack of these in our local, one of our local little stores, and they have like 10 in there. But yeah, for now I'm kind of just KDPing it because I'm working so hard on my other book. I need to reel it in. I'm so all over the place.
Well, there's a lot to do always, right? Just
There is, especially when you have more than one book. Like you probably have a better organizational system and you dedicate your.
I don't know if I do. I don't know. So people will ask for the local store. Did you just go in one day and say, hey, can you carry my books?
I did. I actually did it first with Underneath the Mimosa Tree because that was my first book, and that's the one with the not so great illustrations.
Okay.
And I can talk freely about that now because I've come to terms with it and I'm having it re-illustrated. But when I walked in, it's literally the cutest shop in the world. And I walked in and I was all nervous and I said, here's a copy of my book. Would you please consider it? I'll leave it with you. You can make your decision. And then I never heard from them again. And I was like, oh no. So I followed up after a while and she's like, yeah, we love the book, but we're not going to lie. It doesn't look professional enough. And if it's not in a pretty enough package, it can be the best book in the world. It was my first real lesson. And I came home and I was all upset. And my husband bought me some awesome Illustrator software like that day. And then I got a little bit better. So like I illustrated these ones myself. And I think these ones aren't bad. Like they're a little more professional.
What was the software?
Well, the software, actually, he didn't buy the software. He bought me the tablet. The software I use, it's a free software called Krita. And I try to always tell people about it. It's spelled Krita, and it's completely free to download. And it's got all the bells and whistles of the really big ones. And I don't even know how to use hardly any of the bells and whistles. But then he bought me a nice tablet that I use with like a stylus.
Oh, so it's like drawing. That's
nice. And I mean, when it comes to my really pretty books, like my new one, I feel like I can't do that justice. I can't draw faces for the life of me. So that's why I got Sola Mia, who can draw things like this.
Oh yeah. Eyes are hard.
Eyes are hard. They end up looking creepy. But so anyway, that was when I first walked into that shop. And so I walked back in with a little bit more pride with my seasons books after I illustrated them. And I said, hi, I'm here to try again with your cute shop. And this time she looked at it, she said, yep, we'll take it. And so she put it, the owner, every time the seasons change, they change like their storefront and everything.
Yep.
And they always stick like my book kind of right in there with all the cuteness. So I'm always kind of proud about that. So.
Oh, that's lovely. Well, that's nice.
Yeah.
So would you do another seasons type book? No, you've done all 4, but like, would you do a specific Easter or something else? Like, have you been turned off of it, or is it good enough? Or
I think I totally would do more. Like I have a story that I've written, but I just don't have. I don't want to say I don't have time, but I guess I just haven't had time. About like a beach. I keep having tree themes. So this one is like, I call it Underneath the Coconut Tree, but that's like seasonal and beachy. So I would absolutely keep doing seasonal ones.
Okay. That'd be neat if you had a tree series.
I have. I'm tree obsessed.
Yeah, you're obsessed with trees.
So I don't know what an Easter tree one could be, but yeah, I would absolutely keep going on with the season ones. I think it's great too because then you can market them heavy during those months.
Right. And it's nice for you because you have something to market each of the seasons because you've done these 4 books. A lot of people just have, say, a Halloween book or just a Christmas book. And so you feel like their selling window is 3 or 4 months and that's it. But really, the way you've done it is smart because maybe your Halloween or your fall one won't sell in March, but then you have something else to push. So
yeah, and what I'll do is I'll up my my budget a little higher depending on, so right now my fall budget I made it higher, but what I'm noticing is some of my other season books, like even the winter and spring ones, are starting to sell because I think people are going on and seeing my fall ad and then they're like, oh
there's other ones. Oh yeah, so those are probably teachers.
Right?
Right? They're like, yes, compare it. Excellent. Do you have any advice for authors who are maybe thinking of doing a seasonal book, like when to put it out or how to market?
Oh my gosh. I feel like I don't have the right to give marketing advice because I'm so bad at it, but I would say definitely. So for my fall book, I started changing my ads up probably towards the end of the summer, because I feel like, it's at the end of the summer, all the parents or the teachers are starting to talk about fall, going back to school. Oh, next month it's going to be Halloween. So I would think that's like the best time. So about a month, maybe two before. So like my Christmas book, I'll probably start right around the beginning of November, really pushing that one.
Beginning of November. Okay. You're
But
selling 20 to 30 a day. So you're doing something right, because there's a lot of people that are selling one or two are not even. So I wouldn't.
I know I need to stop. I think I need to quit some of those big Facebook groups are so helpful, but then it's like anything with social media. You've got all the love in there, but you've also got some trolls, and you've also got some, hey, look at me, I'm so awesome. And then it becomes a little bit toxic for me if I see somebody saying they're making 40,000 a day and I'm over here, selling 20 books a day. I'm like, oh, I'm never going to get there. And then I feel bad about myself, and I need to stop doing that.
You really do. Yes. Maybe start just searching when you have a specific question, and then
I need to do that
instead of looking. Yes. There's a lot of self-promotion in all the groups, and I just always think, and I tell my kids this too, no matter what you're doing, there's always going to be somebody better. There's always going to be somebody worse. Like, you just have to do the very best that you can, because you're never, like, chances are you're never going to be the top ever, right?
So
like,
true.
and it doesn't matter what you do or how hard you try, it's just not going to happen, most likely. So
I love your approach too. I feel like you're very humble, because you are a very big success in this business, but I never see you posting going, look at me, like, you know what I mean? With pictures of your graphs with how much money you've made last month.
I'm Canadian, so like, it's really hard to promote anything. I'm like you. It's hard to talk about myself.
It is, right? And I've always told my kids, you might get a kick out of this because you're Canadian. Do you follow basketball at all? And you guys, well, we lost one of our really amazing players here in San Antonio, because I don't know, things got real weird, and he ended up in Canada last year, and his name is Kawhi Leonard, and I'm sure a lot of people know who he is.
Yeah, I've heard of him.
Well, back when he was here, I thought he was such a class act before he got weird with the Spurs. And I'm a Spurs fan, so I'm allowed to use the word weird when it comes to Kawhi Leonard. But anyway, before all that happened, I would tell my kids all the time, be like Kawhi, be a Kawhi, because he's so quiet and he's so humble, and he's super great at his game, but he doesn't act like it, and he doesn't talk about how awesome he is. He's not like that. So that used to be my quote all the time, be like Kawhi, to my kids. And then he got really weird, and he sat out for a whole year, and everyone in San Antonio started hating him. So I was like, okay, I don't say be like Kawhi anymore, but maybe I can start again.
Be like the old Kawhi.
We started to heal from that. We're good. He left you guys now too, so Canada probably hates him too now.
We all make missteps. We're having issues with our prime minister right now. Like, we all.
Oh, I saw that this morning. I was like, oh my gosh, he's my favorite. I love him. He made a little stupid mistakes in college. Let's not go back there. Let's just love him for who he is today.
Yeah, I just feel like we all deserve some grace. We all make mistakes. And
we do. Who are these people that have video of stuff that happened 20 years ago and pull it up? I just don't know who those people are.
I just feel very, very grateful that social media was not a thing when I was a teenager.
Me too. Oh my goodness.
So grateful. Yeah. When my 11-year-old's asking, I need the things. I need the TikTok and the Instagram and the this and the, no, you don't.
Oh, yeah, that's when you need to get really super hyper vigilant, is around 11, 12, 13, 14. Like, I can't tell you how many times I had to take their stuff from them. We're on the other side of it now.
Yeah.
It's a super vigilant time to be a mom.
Yeah, I have a mom friend who has 4 boys, and her youngest is the age of my oldest. So she's like my role model. And so I'm just like, what do you think? What do you do about this? You just tell me. I'm like, okay, Jackie says this. That's what I'm doing. Sorry, Jackie said no. Jackie's going. I always defer. Awesome. And then I'm like, sorry, it's not my decision.
Yeah.
Jackie says. Yeah, it's all new. It's all new territory, new waters for me. Anyway, we deserve some grace is what I think.
Yes, we do. Absolutely.
I tune in when I want to, and I tune out in those groups when I roll my eyes or shake my head and move along. Because who's got the time, Kelly?
Nobody has time for all that.
Nobody's got time for that. We don't. No. Yeah. So I hope you allow yourself some grace when you're looking at some of those.
I know. I do. Yesterday I had a little bit of a moment where I was feeling I don't know, but I feel better today because my journey is my journey. So I don't need to question every little thing I do. I think I'm doing just with marketing. I think I could really put some more work in, but with my stories and everything,
I think I saw somebody was questioning a font or something that you had chosen.
Yeah,
and was that your moment? But then I loved your response. And you said something like, I'm actually really confident in this. So thank you, but bye-bye, basically is what you said.
Yeah. So what happened? And now I'm following up on that just because after all that, I was really questioning myself and I had so much confidence in this book. It was with this book. Let me just here. So here's the font.
Okay.
Backwards, but
no.
So he was trying to say that kids won't be able to read it. It's ugly or whatever he was saying. And I had done so much research. I actually bought that font because I loved it so much. And so I have a friend that has 4 and she's pregnant with her 5th kids and her oldest is only in 2nd grade. So I contacted her last night with a picture and I said, have her read this and let me know if she struggles with it. And she said, she didn't struggle with it except for the letter I. And I was like, oh no, I have to change my font immediately. And she said, well, wait, it was tiny on my phone. So I sent her like a bigger, I said, it's going to be about a 20 size point font. Yeah. And she said, oh, she's great at it. So what I'm going to do, my hardcover proof comes today. I have like 5 of these.
Yeah.
I'm going to give it to her. I'm going to have her read it and I'm going to give it to her as a little prize. And if she can read it, I'm going to keep it because it's told first person from a child's point of view. So I kind of like the idea of the child like font.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, I mean, I posted on that site because I was covering some bleed issues. We were all talking about bleed and I had been struggling with bleed. Right. So I got back on there and I was like, this is what's going on with bleed. And then I get back immediately, I don't like that font. And I was like,
I did not ask about the font.
I know.
Yeah, people are so used to giving their opinions and it's up to you to take it or not. So I really appreciated your comment. I thought that came across so strong and confident and I loved it. And I was like, yay, Kelly. So
good. Thank you.
But on the other hand, I like that you did your research in the beginning, but then, you were questioning it a little bit. So you did some more research and you reached out to real life children. And that's and maybe in 6 months or a year, if you get a lot of people saying, I loved the book, the art was great, but I couldn't read it, then maybe it would be the time to fix it. But now it hasn't even been given a chance. So I feel like you did your due diligence and wash that comment away. Bye-bye.
I know. I ended up deleting the comment too. Or deleting the whole post. Because I was like, I don't want any negativity. Because I thought there's so many people in this group and I just want people to love my stuff. And instead, I just think they're all going to look at it through the filter of that. And so I still have a month till I publish. So we'll see what this little girl says.
Yeah.
It's going to all ride on her shoulders.
Oh, goodness. Don't put that on her. No, it's going to be great. I can't wait for that. And I'm happy to share that when that comes out because it's just gorgeous. And I want to share that Illustrator story too, because I think that's phenomenal. When I think about my 11-and-a-half-year-old, he maybe like to illustrate a book, but yeah.
I know. I'll give you the link to her Instagram if you want.
Yeah, sure. And we'll post it. We'll share it. Yeah. And I'll share about that software that you like to share about. And thank you so much for coming on and giving us your opinion on your seasonal books and sharing. You're welcome. It's always so nice to talk to you. So I'll let you get on with your day.
Okay. Well, have a good day, Lori. Thank you so much. Bye, guys.
Bye. Thanks for listening today, writers. If you have questions you'd like answered in one of the upcoming episodes about seasonal books, either send me a message at lori@loriwriter.com or comment on the video so that I can see it. If you have experiences yourself with seasonal books, I'd love to hear them. The good, the bad, the ugly. I want to hear it all. Thank you for subscribing to the podcast. Just like with book reviews, it really helps to boost the visibility, which helps me to help more authors, which you know I love. So talk to you next week here on the Writer's Way podcast.
You've been listening to the Writer's Way podcast. For show notes, links to guests' information, and to learn more about the Writer's Way, check out LoriWriter.com. Until next week, enjoy this chapter of your life.